We are
Right, yeah, so
now.
we got Snuff. Sorry.
Sorry, I was just gonna say we are now in the arena, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, we're in the arena with Snuffed Out. That's literally triggered for anyone with a very short attention span who forgot which teams we're talking about. So I believe Snuffed Out is in red and literally triggered is in blue. So literally triggered bringing just the one Stabber Fleet issue this time. Is it just the one, or have I not locked him? No, it is just the one. We saw them last weekend when they beat No Vacancies and Out of the Blue, bringing the Stabber Fleet issues twice, and they have a 100% win rate, confirmed most OP ship in the game. Jintan, what have Snuff brought?
Yeah, Snuffed Out have brought a composition. I don't think we saw anything exactly like this, but I feel like we did see a lot of these. I think I've seen at least one Paladin composition in the feeders so far. But basically, this is just going to try and project all the way across the arena. This is similar to that Varga comp we saw previously, just with a lot more control because it's an armor setup. So they're going to be wanting to try and get these Confessors and Punishers on top of that Guardian as soon as possible so that they can project onto it and kill it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about. I think we saw a team other than Snuff field the Paladins at some point. Don't check me on that, but I quite like the Paladin in theory. Just in general, it projects really well, even with pulse lasers. If you load Scorch,
There
I
we
think it
go,
hits
right
60.
onto the Guardian
Yeah, the Guardian
immediately.
just immediately gets chunked of Park Bank, and he put up such a overwhelmingly strong performance last weekend in their match. I think it was against Out of the Blue that he solo tanked everything, juggled aggro on everyone, and kept everyone alive. But yeah, they've decided, well, got to go.
Ooh, focused Widowmaker there from Snuffed Out getting screened really, really deep in the back lines. He's probably going to die very, very quickly here. They've managed, but that was a really good catch from the counter-screening team.
Yeah, that Nurgle's managed to get on him and pin him down. Obviously, with those Nurgles, as we talked about briefly last week, if they start ramping up and just are allowed to do that, then they can be a real issue.
Even without this tackle, though, this Guardian's doing really, really poorly in half armor, just getting projected at across the arena.
Yeah, even with the tackle being screened, these Paladins are still able to just project out and hit him. So he's probably going to need to pull some range. But of course, with his own battleships, the Fleet Tempest up in the action, he doesn't want to go too far. So it's going to be a sort of difficult balancing act for him to find the right spot of where he wants to be most effective at repping without killing himself.
Well, Miss Kesh is taking chunks here too as well, going down into low armor here.
Yeah.
It just seems like those Fleet Tempests are finally in range, and it's a lot of damage that they're having to take. Yeah, you can see he's just caught there in the middle between two of those Stabber Fleet issues, and they are pounding him away. Focused Widowmaker there finally goes down, just basically soloed off by that Nurgle after being screened.
Yeah, and the second Confessor of Gens, Alex, taking chunks as well, so it's going to be pretty tricky for these Deacons to keep him up. And Parkbank's totally recovered; he's fine now.
Yeah, great piloting from that Guardian as well. You can see he swung this massive long arc around the arena, wasted as much of the Paladin's time as possible before forcing them to force off. Raffazan here, though, taking a lot of chunk damage as well. The Guardian's going to have a really tough time getting back in range to rep him before he goes down, potentially.
Yeah, but this Confessor of Jen Salak is still taking chunks. He's still stuck deep in the backline, and obviously the short rep range of the Deacons, they can't push forward to help him out, so he's trapped in no man's land. He does finally go down. But yeah, Ray Face, and obviously the extended rep range of the Guardian, much more beneficial in this scenario when you've got these two battleship groups just piled up on top of each other. The range of the Guardian is so valuable.
Yeah, you can see here, literally triggered, having won the tackle fight now, just pulling all of their Garmers back in. Those are going to get on top of those logistics frigates here the remaining logistics frigate here and just wipe it off the face of the earth. This is going to be a really tough match for Shadow Cartel to win from here.
It's going to be extremely tough for Shadow Cartel, as Shadow Cartel are not actually flying in this match.
I'm sorry. Snuffed Out, not Shadow Cartel.
Yeah, and I'm sure both parties will be very, very offended at the mere implication that they're even the same. You could have referred to them as any other name there, Jintan. You really... You've really
put my foot in it there.
You've really
Still,
put your foot in it.
Parkbank is taking a little bit more DPS here as he pulls back in. Those Paladins are still really, really scary here.
They are, yeah, but this second Deacon does finally go down, and it's just going to be these three Paladins. And Miss Kesher, I imagine he's going to have some kind of local tank on this Paladin. But with so little pressure left from anything else, and the Nurgle freed up to come in and start punching him, he's probably not long for the world. I mean, these Tempests, they're probably undergoing some kind of cap issue from the newts, presumably fit to the Paladins, but they don't care. I mean, they're Tempest fleet issues. They're just going to keep firing. There's no issues at all in that regard.
Yeah, I think what I really want to focus on here, though, was how well the actual tackle piloting, how good the tackle piloting was on that L-Trig side and how important that was. There was a lot of screening play to that game, a lot of the confessors moving around the map and getting caught, and especially a lot of ships like, for example, Alex in this Punisher. That ship has to get some early tackles to make up for its 3-point cost, and they were able to screen it off with a 2-point Gamma, and that 2-point Gamma then later on had massive impact in the match itself for positioning. That's the kind of thing that you really, really need to make use of if you want to win an AT match. You have to be able to lock down your opponent's ships and put them in disadvantageous positions.
Yeah, I think we've seen quite a lot of these Tech 2 Logi frigates, the Deacons and the Thalias and the Kirins. But that is one of the strengths of fielding a Guardian or an Aneros, etc. It only takes one slot instead of two. So you can get that extra slot and use it for screening. And of course, they've brought 3 battleships and the 3 Paladins, and literally Triggered only brought the 2 Fleet Tempest. So they get another slot. So they've effectively got 2 extra ship holes.
Shout out to the Guardian that is now just sitting on living. 0 of the Paladin and just tanking them with tracking.
What a Chad. That is a Chad play. I love it. Park Bank, you're a monster. Never change.
No weapon.
He's T-posing to just assert dominance all over them.
Absolute dominance, and I love it. We're here for it. So yeah, Nuke Michael, the last one. Similarly going to be probably active tanked on the Paladin. Not that it makes much difference at this point. Turn off your reps, Nuke. You're not living. I'm sorry. You're not going to... You haven't got a chance of killing this absolute Chad Guardian either, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was really close though. If that had been a shield logistics, I think this Paladin comp would have worked.
Yeah, it's the Guardian's a tough nut to crack, especially when it's piloted by such a prestigious and highly skilled spaceship pilot as Park Bank. And the range, the control of this comp with the sort of 2 extra ship slots used for screening and control is it's very difficult to sort of like you said, to get those confessors on top of them and initiate some kind of control to them and enable the Paladins to track and deploy.
Yeah, well, with that, everyone else has been sent home, so let's make the same and head back to the studio.